Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sov. Welcome back to the channel. Today, it's all about our girl, our queen, the Ice Queen herself, the beautiful nun, Rosaria, okay? Look, she's on the banner with Kazuha. She's pretty relevant right now, so of course, we're going to do a quick build guide, quick strategy for how I like to build her. Now, this isn't for the overall best damage, the best numbers, all right? I'm not that guy, all right? I'm not that guy. But we are going to go through how I think that she is utilized and how she should be utilized based off of how I've used her in the past and how I've built her. But before we get started, don't be a bitch. Like the video. Let's try to go for 100 likes on this one. Also, subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright guys, here it is, Rosaria, the blood-sucking, evil nun of the Church of Mondstadt. Well, she's not evil at all, she's actually pretty cool. But, you know, she's one of the adult characters, the actual waifus in the game, so you gotta love her, you know? So anyways, moving forward, Rosaria has a really interesting kit. She is cryo, like I said, she uses a polearm, so let's go ahead and pull her up here on Genshin Impact. If you guys want to see this yourselves, the link will be in the description box below. And so, as I said, she is a cryo polearm user. Her being cryo allows her to do two different things. Well, a few different things. She can freeze, she can slow them, she can do melts, she can also do physical damage boosts if you do electro charge. So there's a few things she can do, okay? So the way she is built as well, with her scaling stat here, it's attack percent, which allows her to be versatile. It's not just cryo percent that stacks. It's not just, you know, energy recharge or elemental mastery. Attack percent is pretty versatile, which means any type of attack you're doing, it's going to boost that. So that being said, I personally like to build her well-rounded with cryo damage and physical damage. Now, some people like to go full cryo, some people like to go full physical on her. I think that if you go either or, you're going to miss out on damage, and you're going to have big damage in one area, but when she doesn't have uptime on something, or if she has too much downtime, she's going to be missing out on damage. So I like to build my characters as well-rounded as possible. That being said, you guys can see the items that she needs for Ascension here. Valberries, a little ice item from the Regis Vine, and then the ice crystals, which you can get from multiple enemies at this point in the game. She has a 5-hit combo with her pole arm. You see that there is a double swing here and a double swing here, which is beneficial for certain weapons, okay? Her E is very quick, it's cryo damage, and there are some things that will give you a boost if she actually does if the enemy is small enough, she's able to actually teleport behind them and do damage, and she'll get like a boost to crit or something like that. So it's beneficial to be able to use this as much as possible if you're focused on a cryo build, and it is only 6 seconds. So if you're not focusing on cryo at all, you're going to miss out on a lot of damage in your overall DPS. Her ultimate, or her burst, is an AoE damage. I mean, it's an AoE effect and it's a dot, so it procs over time. You guys can see here you have skill damage here, and then it gives you an extra dot here. So the energy cost there is 60 as well, so it's not crazy high, so you just have to focus that you manage that as best as possible. She has some passives here that boost her crit rate. Same here. So the thing about Rosaria is that she has a variable crit rate built in her kit. So on top of that, if you think that she has a variable crit rate built in her kit based off of certain circumstances, you also have the cryo artifact set, the Blizzard Slayer set, which is also kind of like a variable crit rate built into the 4-piece set. All that put together allows her to have a high crit rate based on certain circumstances, and a lot of that relies on you having them having cryo applied or them being frozen. So if you want to take full advantage of crits on Rosaria, you do want to run a freeze comp, or you can just do a partial of that and then just make sure that they're always getting cryo applied. This is why I think that you shouldn't go too strong into trying to do a physical damage build on Rosaria. But I digress. You can build her however you want. I'm just going to show you guys how I think she's best built, but there are some guides out there for other ways of how to build her, but we're going to touch on things briefly here. So now that you guys have a somewhat of a basic understanding of how Rosaria should probably be built, let's go ahead and take a look at how what I have going on with her. All right, so Rosaria, what's up? Let's go ahead and take a look at how I have her built. And the way I have her built, it's a lot of hand-me-down stuff. I never really put a ridiculous amount of time into her. Her artifacts are from what I had on Kaya before. Her weapon was what I had on Ling before. So all that being said, if you want to build her and put a lot of focus into her, you will be able to build her more powerful than what I have for her right now. All right, so just quick disclaimer, let's move forward. All right, here are her base stats here, level 90. Let's go into the full details so you guys can see that. All right, so crit rate is 15% base, and remember guys, this is variable, so depending on certain circumstances, this can shoot up, and we will check on that a little bit later, what that goes up to. All right, crit damage is a 168. We have energy recharge of 105, and the cryo damage bonus is 61%, and there also is a fizz damage bonus here of 34.5%. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the weapon I have for her. Currently, I am rocking a level 90 Refinement Rake 5 Crescent Pike on Rosaria. Look, I had a bunch of Northlander polearms at one point early in the game. I didn't know what else to use them on. I decided to just make Crescent Pikes because I wasn't going to make the other polearm. I had no use for it, so I was like, well, if I have all these, might as well make this. And this was before the Dragon Spine Spear came out, so if you have a Dragon Spine Spear, you can use that on her as well. It will work well for her. It's another great option. But if you have a high refinement Crescent Pike, it will also work if you're trying to get fizz damage out of her, okay? There are some other weapons you might want to use if you're going to go cryo, but I think even cryo, the Dragon Spine Spear will be a great option because it does give a boost to that AoE proc if you apply cryo. So that being said, we can move forward, but the Crescent Pike, if you have a high refinement, it is pretty good. As you can see here, it's an extra damage 40% of the attack once you get elemental particles, which is really easy because as soon as you use your E or any enemy comes along and you hitting them with anything, you're gonna get particles. So you're always pretty much gonna have particles if you're fighting guys. So you're always gonna get this extra damage proc. It's rare if you don't. All right. Great, so that's extra damage there, that's huge damage. Let's look at her artifacts here. So, like I said, it's a Blizzard Strayer set, 4-piece. 2-piece gives you the 15% to cryo damage, and then the 4-piece set, when a character attacks an opponent affected by cryo, their crit rate is increased by 20%. If the opponent is frozen, the crit rate is increased by an additional 20%. So, you guys saw that she had that 15%. So, since she's always going to be applying cryo, that's going to be a base then of additional 20%, which makes that 35%. Now, if that 35% and if I have a freeze comp, which in this current team that I'm rocking it, which you'll see in the domain, we have Xingqiu, so there's a high probability that a lot of these enemies will be frozen, so that's another 20. That puts her over 50% for that, all right? So she's going to have a 1 to 2 chance of critting when she attacks. So that right there gives you a great ratio of hitting. So it's not gonna be, you shouldn't really worry about that. On top of all the other crit boosts that you get from passive abilities and constellations and how you run her, like you don't have to worry about crit too much. So I know some people rock a crit rate weapon on her. I just don't think that's necessary if you run her the proper way. All right. So as you guys can see here, we have crit damage stacking on the substats here. We have some more crit damage stacking on the substats here. Some more crit damage stacking on the substats here. Some crit rate. Then we have a cryo damage with crit damage on here. And then we are running a crit damage circlet and some attack percent and base attack here. These are not the greatest artifacts. They're pretty decent. I will be honest and say some of them are pretty decent. 11% crit damage is a little low. 13% crit damage is a little low, but having that extra 10% crit rate actually makes up for that. 12% crit damage is a little low. 19% crit damage is, you know, where you want to be at base level for your artifacts when you're going for a crit damage build. Your main DPS dealers you want to have, if you want to try to get like over 20% on each piece, that'll be very valuable for your main DPSs. All right. So let's go ahead and go back now. So now you guys have an understanding of that. As you guys can see here, we're rocking Bennett, Rosaria, Xingqiu, and Diona. Diona is basically there just to give us heals and a shield. She's just there for protection and to get some more particles for Rosaria. All right. Now, I know Bennett does heal, but I have a C0 Bennett, so, you know, there's that. Now, mind you, this is going to be challenging to freeze these guys. I'm also going to try to keep this in line for you guys, so that way you guys can say hello. So you see all these extra damage numbers coming out. That is because of the Crescent Pike. And see how quickly we're getting her ult back up? Now, like I showed before, it's not going to be crazy damage here unless you have the ult up where it's constantly proccing a bunch of damage all at one time. And then we get Diona in, and then we really start going off. And then we could do this, and then it kind of works in that freeze comp. Okay, we're kind of stuck in a corner here. Alright, we gotta get this dude to stop. Alright, so you see the damage that she's putting out with the Crescent Pike isn't horrible, right? And then once we really get Bennett down, the damage really starts to capitalize on his buff. So that is the Bennett slash freeze comp. Now you can do better freeze comps. I could put Barbara in instead of Bennett and just go full freeze comp. But let's be honest, Bennett is a much larger asset than Barbara would be here. And having Diona here allows her to get way more uptime on her ult, which is where a lot of the damage is going to come from. All right, so let's go back out. So hopefully you guys understand why I run it like that. But like I said, if you guys want to go for that 100% uptime and you want to get more crit damage out of Rosaria, that will work if you put someone like Barbara in, so you can always swing out Xingqiu for Barbara to get more of that freeze. So if you're going for full freeze comp, I would recommend Xingqiu and Barbara, or a different Hydro character. If you have Mona, if you have Child, that will work. And then swing another Cryo character with her. If you have Diona, that would be great because she's full support, so you don't have to like switch out for damage dealing. However, if you do have someone like Eula, where she outshines Rosaria in physical damage completely, I would say just use Eula. But any other Cryo character that could support her, if you want to use her as a main DPS, then that might be a way to go. But Rosaria, I feel, she's a burst DPS if you only use her ult for just that, okay? Now, if you want to main her, that's when her E comes into play, because her E has such a short cooldown. That's what you want to use her for as a main DPS. But once again, everybody, you can build her a little bit stronger than what I have her here if you put way more investment into her. She's very viable in a lot of the content currently in the game. So let's go ahead and switch up our party to the Superconduct / Melt build here, where we utilize Fischl a lot for Superconduct for more physical damage. And we don't have Bennett here. Now, when I swing in Xinyan, it might be a little offset, because Xinyan's very strong, okay? Contrary to what people believe, Xinyan is very strong 4-star, all right? She's A tier with low constellation, high constellation, and a lot of investment. She's like a top of A tier, A+, okay? A+. Fischl, I need to make sure she gets some heals, because I don't know, she likes to die a lot. All right, let's bring this full screen for you guys. No cuts here. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing here. Let's get a shield, and then we're gonna pop out Fischl. It's gonna be really hard to get freeze comp in here. I mean, to get this, we will do a different domain as well, so you guys can see. It's gonna, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be pretty challenging to get Superconducts off, because these dudes are all like pyro eyes and stuff, but we'll be able to get them on the other dudes over here. Why over here? I mean, I guess we'll move over here. I just need a shield. That uptime is really low right now. There we go. Alright, check out that fizz damage right there. That's pretty insane, I gotta say. Getting that extra damage. Look at that. I'm gonna pop this. Do this. I'm gonna get shield here. Alright, this dude has Superconduct. Need a shield. Alright, I'm gonna pop this. Do this. Give you that. And now we're full Superconduct. Look at the damage, please. So, to be honest with you guys, I would highly recommend probably running Fischl. Main reason being, Fischl's damage alone using Oz is going to be a huge benefit to the overall damage of the team, because her off-field damage is insane. I would recommend that more, but if you have a built Barba, you have a really great built Xingqiu, you can, especially if you have Xingqiu that has, like, you know, sacrificial weapons to get that extra E to get more Hydro out there more frequently. If you have a way to get him have more energy recharge, to have more uptime on his ult, those things will go a long way. What do you guys think about this build for her? Focusing on a little bit of cryo, focusing on a little bit of physical damage. I think this is the best way to go for her. Can you go more cryo damage or more damage overall with a different weapon? Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at what other weapons are possible to use on her for a polearm, other than the Dragon Spine Spear, because once again, the Dragon Spine Spear will be a good option. So let's take a look at polearms over here on Honey Impact. Okay, so for the current 5-star polearms that are available, you can use any of them. They're stat sticks. They're all going to have a higher base attack than any of the 4 stars. So you can use any of them. Going with the Staff of Homa will get that crit damage up on her to do more big procs, big bursts of damage every now and then, if you have decent crit rate. And since she does have that variable crit rate, you do want to probably run that freeze comp on her to get the most crit rate to do the most crit damage on her. The Primordial J-Wing Spirit is also a decent option if you want to have more consistent crit rate on her all the time. But if you want to complement her build, mostly get more attack percent out of her, the Vortex Vanquisher is also a great option, great base attack as well. So with the 4-star ones, we do have the Dragon Spine Spear, which we already talked about. We do have the Crescent Pike, which we are currently using. Now, what other 4 stars can you use on her? Well, we do have the Lithic Spear, which is okay, but you know, this is for leeway characters to benefit from. So it's not that you can't use it, but you're not going to get as much benefit out of it as you think you should. The Royal Spear is also a good option because it has attack percent as a substat, and it has the crit rate that's variable, just like how she has variable crit rate. So she's going to be critting a lot with this thing, with also getting that attack percent up. Royal Spears are often in the store, and I think they're actually in the store as of right now for the rest of June at least. Let me check. Let's go ahead and check the store. Yeah, so if you guys want the Royal Spear, you have a few days to pick that up if you guys want that, if you don't have it yet. But at the beginning of the next month, which is July, which is in a few days, this will be switched out over to the other set of weapons. So if you're watching this before July, pick up the Royal Spear if you don't have a spear for her that complements her build well at all, okay? Let's go back to the weapons. Any other weapons here? Blackcliff Pole is crit damage. It's not bad. You're gonna get more crit damage overall. It'll do good damage. Does it complement her as much? Yeah, why not? It does. It's a great polearm. Deathmatch is also great if you have the battle pass. You get some crit rate there. Also increased attack here. It complements her build. They all work, guys. As I was saying before, Rosaria is very versatile. You have a lot of options to build her different ways. What's the best way? I don't know. That's up to you. Could you find a mathematically sound best way to build Rosaria? Yes, I'm sure somebody has already done that out there on the internet, but I'm not that guy, pal, all right? I'm not that guy. I'm here to give you my opinion on how I build her and showcase what she can do with her kit. That's it. So, if you guys like videos like these, be sure to like the video, okay? More to come in the future. Plenty of character build guides, strategies, plenty more to come. We have a lot of new characters coming out. I will be trying to roll for as many as possible. I am mostly free to play right now, but if you guys want to donate, Cash App is in the description box below. I will be live streaming every time I roll, okay? So if you guys want to partake in that, be sure to donate, leave a message with it. Be like, yo, this is for rolling. So that way we'll go and roll and do all those live and you guys can participate and do it live on stream. It's a lot of fun every time we do it. So make sure you guys join up. Subscribe so you don't miss any future content. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one with Rosaria. Maybe we do Bennett next. I don't know. He's also on the banner for Kazuha. Maybe we do Razor. I don't know. We'll see what happens next. We'll see you guys next time. Later.